Hi, Dr. Alhad, and welcome to this episode of Beyond the Workstation. I am extremely excited to get to know you better and bombard you with a lot of questions.
Hi, Priyanka. I'm looking forward to that.
So, to begin with, we'd actually like to hear about you and your journey through your career in your own words.
Yeah, I've had a very interesting career, especially in the field of IT. I started off, in fifth standard with computers, and that was very exciting for me because it was something new back then in 1993, where you would use something like a language called BASIC. Now, nobody has heard of BASIC these days. It's not Visual Basic. Going back many, many years, there was a language called BASIC. I started off with that, got very interested. Eventually, I decided to do animation and other things, and there was a wide variety of things I did in this area. Now, computers is something that I always liked myself because you could do a wide variety of things. You could write programs, you could play games on it, you could do a lot of different things. And while doing that, I kind of, realized that it has a great potential and future. Um, and what I thought was, something that excited me even more was mobile technology compared to the computers itself. Because the
Right.
first mobile phone that my father had was like a Siemens S1 or something like that. And that phone was like this big, as you can remember in those days, with an
That's true
antenna
now.
on it. And you could
Oh,
make
yes.
phone calls just like a cordless telephone, but without any wires from anywhere in the world,
Yeah.
right? And though it was very expensive, 16 rupees per minute outgoing and 8 rupees per minute incoming,
Oh,
it
my
was a
God.
it was a fantastic piece of technology that excited me. Then there
Right.
were games. Now many of us may remember, Nokia games, like the Snake game, for example.
Yes.
All of us did play that, and that excited me again. And eventually, what happened was that I had a very, or I still have a very good friend, a very dear friend named Sripat Kurtadkar. He actually called me once and he said, "Hey, I'm doing something exciting. Do you want to come and see?" The guy is brilliant. He called me to his room and showed me something back in 2002, where he had connected a little box with a light bulb in front of it, connected to a computer, and he pressed a couple of keys on the keyboard and the lights started coming up. The bulb turned on, the bulb turned off, he could dim it. And that was the first exposure to IoT for me.
Oh,
And I was extremely excited to look at it because I'd never seen anything like this before. So I
right.
said to him, "Can I borrow this box for a few days and do some R&D?" And D? And he was kind enough to give me that box. And I took it with me home and I played around with it, looked at the program because it all excited me to see that. And programming has been kind of something that I've loved doing myself. So from C, C++, Java, Python, you name it, I think I've worked in almost every programming language till date. That
Right.
excited me a lot. And then I'm a hands-on person. I'm not a theoretical person. So at a certain point, I decided that I needed more hands-on experience than just theory. And that is where I got kind of introduced to, a university in the UK where I went.
Okay.
And I did my MSc in mobile computing. And while doing that, I hadn't finished my MSc. I just, I did very well in my MSc technically. So they offered me, an opportunity to do PhD in mobile computing. So that was very exciting for me because I didn't know what a PhD was. It was just an offer that came through, and I decided to jump into it. And my professor, Professor Khalid Al Begin, whom I'm very thankful to, he is more like a father to me, and he actually taught me a lot of things in those days around
Right.
mobile technologies, and together we built a lot of things in our lab. So we were one of the first people to work on technologies like SIP and IMS, which are used today in 4G and 5G. uh,
Okay.
so we built applications, we did a lot of things. And eventually what happened was that the European Union actually funded our Center of Excellence for Mobile Apps and Services. Now, apps were pretty new then. So we built apps in those days for a lot of companies. Prior to that, I actually, as a part of my PhD, I actually created a technology wherein, home web cameras would make a call on detecting motion to your phone, and it would be like an IP call to a central network, and from there a PSTN call, like 3G video call, that would come to
Right.
your phone, and then you could rewind back by using, the keypad, like asterisk 3 rewind back, asterisk 4 forward, and stuff like that. And that is what we built and patented, actually, this technology
Oh,
in
wow.
those days. And this was an exciting technology. And one of the guys that we know today, Vinod Nehte, actually helped me build this. Uh, Initially, I built a prototype, and then Vinod actually took it forward. And we formed a spin out company from the university itself.
Yeah.
Then I became a lecturer at the university, taught mobile computing for a period of like another 6, 7 years or something like that. Did a lot of research. And eventually, this particular company licensed its technology to a Dutch company. And that is how I ended up in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now I'm at Infogen after all these things. Yeah.
Wow, what an exciting journey. This is amazing to know. So just to know, like you mentioned, you built technologies that are now used in 4G and 5G. So basically, you are the ones who got it going. If the 5G is what we're using, clearly we're using technology that was built by you.
Yes, parts of it, not entirely, but
Entirely.
parts
Yes.
of it.